Did you know that Ben Affleck got a chance to play his favorite character of all time? And what about the fact that he has almost as many Academy Award wins as he does Razzie nominations for Worst Actor? Yes, he's a multifaceted performer in more ways than one. And we've got way more fun facts like these. We're going behind the scenes of his many movies that earned over $100 million at the box office. Most of us know of Good Will Hunting as Ben Affleck's big break. Affleck and his lifelong pal Matt Damon wrote the script together and later starred in the 1997 film. Damon began the script in a Harvard playwriting class. Ben Affleck joined him, and they ended up winning the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. Affleck was only 25 years old, and consequently, he's the youngest person to ever take home the coveted award. The first day of shooting, the friends were brought to tears watching stars, Robin Williams and Stellan Skarsgård, uttering the words from their script. Honestly, we would have been bawling too. And we would have shed even more tears when the movie scored $226 million at the box office, and a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, Suicide Squad didn't do nearly as well. It's got a 26% Rotten Tomatoes score, but hey, Ben Affleck was way less involved in this one, so we won't fault him. Plus, it made a whopping $746 million. So, hey, who cares about the reviews in the end? Plus, the folks behind this 2016 movie were prepared for the worst. So prepared, in fact, that the helicopter scene was the last scene that they shot. Why? Well, they didn't want to have to delay any filming if cast members sustained injuries while filming that scene. Sounds like a bit of a Suicide Squad mission. Everybody was fine though. Argo was the first film that Ben Affleck directed, but didn't contribute to the writing at all. And while he's made history as a writer, it's clear he has plenty of strength in directing too. Argo became a classic, scoring 96% on Rotten Tomatoes and raking in $227 million at the box office. And Affleck also starred in the film. Interestingly, the first three movies that he directed scored a Best Supporting Actor or Actress nod: Gone Baby Gone, The Town, and Argo for Amy Ryan, Jeremy Renner and Alan Arkin, respectively. Affleck did some amazing and unique work on this film. He had the cast live in the house, where many scenes were filmed for a week, and everything inside the house, including movies and newspapers, were chosen to fit the time period. Now, it's clear that Affleck is a skilled director, but he once postponed directing a film for a very special acting gig. The film he postponed was 2016's Live by Night. He put it off to star in 2014's Gone Girl because he was committed to working with David Fincher, who Affleck describes as the only director I've met who can do everybody else's job better than they could, and it paid off. Literally, Gone Girl took home $367 million at the box office and earned an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. Affleck took a risk to make Gone Girl, but he was a full-blown Daredevil when making another film. That would be Daredevil, of course. But he didn't just play the titular character to earn that title. He actually did some pretty risky stuff. He wore heavy contact lenses, which almost entirely impeded his vision, meaning that he was nearly entirely blind while filming. And that wasn't all. His future wife, Jennifer Garner, with whom he fell in love on set, accidentally kicked him in the head while filming. The kick was so hard that he blacked out. Hopefully it was worth it when the movie scored $183 million at the box office, though it only got 43% on Rotten Tomatoes. 2016's Batman vs. Superman didn't do too well critically either, with a 29% Rotten Tomatoes score. It did, however, manage to bring in a whopping $872 million at the box office. It seems then that all the work Ben Affleck put into playing Batman was worth it, and he put in quite a bit of work. He gained 20 pounds of muscle for the role and got down to only 8% body fat. That could not have been a fun process. So, Affleck figured he might as well get something extra out of the deal. He asked if he could take the Batsuit home after filming. The producers said he could, but only if he bought it for $100,000. For obvious reasons, he settled for a picture with the suit instead. Affleck may have done Batman vs. Superman for some time in the Batsuit, but he did Shakespeare in Love for love. Literally. At the time, Ben Affleck was dating fellow actor Gwyneth Paltrow, who played the leading role. Affleck took his role in the movie to spend time with her. Aww, how romantic. It worked out for them too. The 1998 film has an impressive 92% Rotten Tomatoes score and earned $280 million at the box office. Now that same year, Affleck had a starring role in Armageddon, and while this may not have been as love-centric as Shakespeare in Love, Affleck made sure that love played a role. In this famous I love you scene between Affleck and co-star Bruce Willis, Affleck made sure that this scene was more emotional than it was intended to be. He wanted a major blockbuster to show this very raw emotional moment, rather than two guys acting tough in spite of the circumstances. He wanted to circumvent the stereotype that showing emotion isn't heroic or tough. And it's clear that director Michael Bay approved of this choice. One thing Bay didn't approve of about Affleck, however, his teeth. Yes, Affleck's teeth were replaced after some scenes were shot, and Bay allegedly noticed that they looked like baby teeth. Affleck's new teeth cost $20,000 and a week of 8-hour days at the dentist. That's rough, but at least the movie earned $555 million. It only scored a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, but we trust that that score would have been far lower without those new, more adult-looking teeth. It's clear by now that Ben Affleck is willing to undergo a lot for a role, but what he did for Pearl Harbor may have taken the cake. Affleck's afraid of flying, and he actually took on the role of, what else? But a pilot for this film. Now that's commitment. It could, however, be why he originally turned the role of Rafe McCauley down. It's a good thing that he ultimately took the role, though. Even though it only scored 24% on Rotten Tomatoes, it introduced him to his future wife, Jennifer Garner, for the first time. And it also scored $450 million at the box office. So even if not everyone loved the film, plenty of people saw it. One person did not see the film, however. Affleck's grandfather. He said he preferred not to relive the war. He's just not that into you was quite a departure from Affleck's typical roles, but it still managed to earn $181 million at the box office, proving that Affleck is even more versatile than we already thought. While the rom-com only got a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes, it still has plenty of loyal fans. Yet, even its biggest fans may not know that the author of the novel that the film was based on made a cameo. Greg Behrendt plays the officiant at Paige's wedding in the 2009 film. A movie that did far better critically was the 2010 crime drama, The Town, which had a 92% Rotten Tomatoes score. Affleck not only starred, but also directed this movie. And he actually liked to combine the two by directing in his costume. He wore his skull mask to direct, and co-star Rebecca Hall noticed that this sometimes made it hard not to laugh. Still, the film made Zack Snyder realize that Affleck should play Batman, because he could play an intimidating character who was leading a double life. The mask must have helped too, though. This movie earned $153 million at the box office. While on set of Pearl Harbor, Affleck was offered the role of Jack Ryan in The Sum of All Fears. His co-star, Alec Baldwin, had already played Jack Ryan in The Hunt for Red October, and he encouraged Affleck to go for it. He did, and the movie earned $194 million at the box office and 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. In 2016, Ben Affleck starred in The Accountant, which he calls one of his top favorites of his own performances. The others are Batman, Chucky in Good Will Hunting, Holden McNeil in Chasing Amy, and Tony Mendez in Argo. Now, this film has something interesting in common with Affleck, though. Anna Kendrick's character discusses learning to count cards in blackjack. In real life, Ben Affleck is so good at card counting that he's been banned from multiple different casinos. No need for gambling when you're in movies that earn $153 million at the box office like The Accountant, though. It also got 52% on Rotten Tomatoes. 2017's Justice League earned even more. Way more. It got $656 million at the box office, despite its not-so-great Rotten Tomatoes score of 39%. Ben Affleck was even considered to direct the movie as well as starring in it, but the gig went to Zack Snyder and later Joss Whedon. So, which one of Ben Affleck's movies is your favorite? Do you agree with him about his top 5 best performances? Let's talk about it in the comments. And for plenty more videos like this one, be sure to like and subscribe to The Things.